I usually teach courses on how to rebuild states after wars, but today I got my personal story to share with you. Um, so this is a picture of my family, four siblings, a mom and me, taken in 1977, and we are actually Cambodians, and this picture was taken in Vietnam. So how did Cambodian family end up in Vietnam in 1977? To explain that, I've got a short video clip to explain the Khmer Rouge regime during 1975 and 1979. April 17th, 1975. Communist Khmer Rouge enters the Phnom Penh to liberate people from the encroaching conflicts in Vietnam and American bombing campaigns, um, led by peasant-born Pol Pot. Khmer Rouge evacuates people to the countryside in order to make rural communist utopia, much like Mao Zedong's Cultural Revolution in China. Khmer Rouge crosses the country to the outside world, but after 4 years, the grim truth seeps out. Only 7 million, the country of only 7 million people, 1.5 million was martyred by their own leader, their bodies piled on the mass graves of the killing fields. Notwithstanding 17's narration, April 17th, in 1975, our family lived in Phnom Penh, and Khmer Rouge. My parents was asked by Khmer Rouge to evacuate the city because of the impending American bombing for 3 days. This is a picture of Khmer Rouge. There are young soldiers, typically child soldiers, and it's very normal in a modern day conflict because they are very easy to bring into wars. And uh, the reasons about they are giving there the reasons they are giving about um, American bombing was not all that far off. I mean, from 1965 to 1973, there were more munition that fell in Cambodia than in all World War II Japan, including two nuclear bombs of August 1945. Khmer Rouge didn't believe in money, so equivalent of Federal Reserve Bank in Cambodia was bombed. And they not only that they banned money, so I think it's the only precedence in which money has ever been banned, ever stopped from being used. And we all know money is the root of all evils, but it didn't stop evils from happening in Cambodia. And Khmer Rouge moved people to Perset province. It's This is a picture of Perset. This is what Perset looks like today, and it's pretty. It's a very pretty area in Cambodia where rice growing takes place, and people were forced to work fields. And my father and mother were ended up in my father and mother ended up in a sort of concentration camp, labor camp, where my mother got word from the commune chief that the Vietnamese are actually asking for their citizens to go back to Vietnam. And she spoke some Vietnamese as a child, uh, being grown up with her Vietnamese friends. So she decided, despite the advices of neighbors, to take the chance to and claim to be Vietnamese. To get a chance to survive because at that point they are giving about a modern day Catholic restriction diet, I guess. Uh, they're giving porridge with a few grains of rice, and they were forcing everyone to work. And it was about that time my father got very sick, and he didn't speak Vietnamese, and he actually died in January 1976. And that made it possible, in fact, for us to take on the plan. So Khmer Rouge moved us from a place called Perset to Coctive, which is across from the border border from Vietnam, and there they had a detention camp, uh, and where the average Vietnamese were tested, language tested, and my mother was Vietnamese was so bad that to make our story more credible, she had given all the boys and the girls new Vietnamese names. And she had given boys girls names and girls boys names. So it wasn't before she met a Vietnamese lady who told her this and tutored her for 2 days intensively so that she was able to go into the exam. And this was a moment of truth, because she if she fails, we are headed to the gallows, and if she passes, we can leave to Vietnam. So, and of course, I'm here. So, she passed, and we ended up in Hong Nu on the Vietnamese side. Um, Onwards to Chao Doc, and this is a picture of Chao Doc today, and it's actually pretty idyllic on the Mekong Delta, but this for us meant freedom, the freedom from the persecution of the Khmer Rouge. Last year, the Khmer Rouge tribunal, which the UN was helping Cambodia take on, uh, started, and I decided, as a matter of record, I should file the civil complaint with tribunal about my father's passing away. Um, and I got word last month that my complaint was officially accepted by the Khmer Rouge Tribunal. Um, and this was for me a matter of justice for history and accountability for the future, because Cambodia remains a lawless place at times. And 2 years ago, 5 years ago, my mother and I went back to Chowdock. So she was able to return to a place that meant for her freedom, but also fear, because we had just come out of Cambodia. And I'm actually happy to present her. She is here with us today. Thank you, Mother.